Hello everyone, this is Sparsh Dodani this side, and as I got many requests from you all to make a video on January 26 IBS paper, the infamous paper, and the reason that many students did not clear Group 2 examination, and the reason for that 9.76%. So here we are with our video on January 26 paper with respect to the IBS 362.0. As far as today is concerned, the I suggested answers have not come out yet. So till the suggested answers are out, we will not give any conclusive answers to anything because we know ICAI किस तरीके से work करता है. So yeah, to be to be safe and to be secure, we will not conclude any answers in this. We will just look how we can solve it with our IBS 62.0. How much is covered by the book. See, if you see the paper, if you see the pattern, there's so much to cover. Seven papers, seven subjects, different modules, different modules of different subjects. So we cannot compile each and everything in one single book. So the thing is, we cannot be 100% sure that everything will be covered by this because of the nature of the paper and nature of examination. But that being said, it will be a very helpful tool for you. So let's begin with that. But first of all, let me discuss something with you. The A quote that I heard from a faculty actually is ABCD, and that's not anybody can dance. It is anybody can dominate. So it is very essential for you to understand that the domination, that the 4 hours, 3 hours you spent in the examination hall, you should dominate the paper. See, I know you have done your preparations. You are preparing for the examination, and you will do the revisions and all the prerequisites that are required for the examination. But after that, the most important thing will be for you to be confident, to have that faith in yourself because like take my example, I was not textbook prepared. I didn't study the whole syllabus itself, but I was prepared enough to appear in the CA final examination, and I had that confidence that I have studied whatever is required to pass the examination. Maybe not full, maybe not the whole syllabus, but I have studied that is ample to clear the CA final examination, and I did in first attempt. And if you have watched my video, I don't know, I cleared my CA final in 60 days. And the confidence that I had in myself played a very important part of it. So, yeah, remember that. You have to dominate those 3 hours, 4 hours. You cannot doubt yourself in that time because there might be things that you know or you do not know. So that's the part and parcel of the examination, but you don't have to doubt yourself sitting there whether I will have this, whether I will complete. See, anytime you're giving examination, you have to be sure that I'm going to clear the examination. That's it. Whatever result may come, that doesn't matter at that point of time. At that point of time, you have to think about this is my 3 hours, 4 hours. I have to dominate the paper. I will not dance on the tune of paper. I will dominate the paper. Yeah. That being said, let's just jump on to the IBS paper of January 26. Quite lengthy, quite comprehensive, quite integrated. That I must say. It is a very good paper. And the reason I can understand for the scoring, but nevertheless, the paper is good. And there are 3 attempts in a year now, so you expect this from ICAI. Like they cannot deliberately fail any student, but they can increase the standard of answers. They can increase the standard of the papers that they give, the answers that they expect. So you can expect at least that from ICAI, and that's what they are doing now. So there's no issue with that. And I don't think like this paper pattern will be a huge roadblock for you to clear CA final. If you are prepared enough, if you have the material, if you are confident enough, anything can come and you can answer that. And it is an open book examination. Okay. Yeah. So let's begin with case study one. Let me tell you what we have. We have a IBS 2.0 book and a reference manual. So what is it? Reference manual. It has the master index, domino effect master list, exam traps master appendix, and all the forms and certifications that have that are to be issued by a CA or signed by a CA that we have compiled there. Apart from that, let me tell you one more thing what we will provide. We will update that in a Telegram group. We will provide a list of disclosures. What will be that? Any disclosures that are required as per NDS or uh, say any other law which are required, and as we saw in this paper and some previous papers as well, they are asking about the disclosures as well. So we thought like we are just in the process, and we will make that in 2 to 3 days, and we will provide that on the Telegram, so you don't have to worry about that. So you can take that as well with all this, and you will be good to go for the examination. Yeah, so let us jump on to the question. Let not waste much time to read the whole thing and everything. I know you have read the paper and everything, you have thought about it. Let me tell you what is covered and how you can approach this. That's it. And once the suggested answer is out, we will take a deep dive into that. Okay. So here it is appointment of Mr. P and Mr. Q. Remember, it is a listed company, but here the SEBI, it is about the Companies Act regulation, not the SEBI regulation. But furthermore, there will be a question where there will be the SEBI regulations in the picture as well. Here it is only asking about the sorry, Companies Act. So as we can see in the in the question itself, there are already 14 directors, and as we know, there is a limit of 15 directors, which you will find in the IBS 62.0. So what they have to do, they have to pass a resolution. Also, there is a limit of directors in AOA. So what they have to first do, they have to alter the article of association. As we all know, बचपन से पढ़ते आ रहे हैं, to alter the article of association, we need to pass a special resolution. So in this case, what will be the answer? Which of the following are not correct? So there is only one or two options correct. And here, as we can see, alter the article of association, pass a SR. As we can see, this would be the right thing. Yeah, okay. So all this will be wrong and the answer will be. Then second, which one of the following are permitted for CAS without compromising to maintain his objectivity? Who is CAS here? So as we can see from the case study, yes, yes, yeah. CAS decided to consult the engagement quality control reviewer, CAS, on this matter, that is EQCR. Let me show you. We have something for EQCR in the book as well. Just a second. Yes, here we have that. EQCR, objectively permitted versus prohibited activities. Here you will find what an EQCR can and cannot do, and you can answer that very easily. So we have that directly in the IBS 2.2. Again, third MCQ. In approach suggested by RESL management to CFO, which of the following are not considered as a limiting factors while allocating resources? This is a very what conceptual question from SFM part of AFM, and if you can see, we have summarized that in IBS 62.0, but it is again a very conceptual question, and it is very like to the point question, and you can solve this by just reading it. And I think the answer is second. Capital availability is the only limiting factor while allocating the resources. But yeah, ICAI answers may differ in that, because I think this one can also be a limiting factor. But again, capital availability will be the main limiting factor while allocating the resources, and that you can find in the SFM. Okay. Now, determine the initial fair value amount of RSEL must allocate to equity component of compound financial instrument considering the conversion option. This is about OCPS. What is OCPS? Optionally convertible preference shares, and we have a separate section for that in IBS 62.2. Let me show you. If we go into the FR part, yeah, yes, compound financial instrument India is 32. We have this of OCPS. What will be the liability component? What will be the equity component? And by this you can solve that question. And we again I saw that comes to the equity component is rupees 17.24 per preference shares. Then the fifth question, it is a very basic question from the place of supply and the time being of the rate of GST, like the rate of GST change, so which rate will be applicable. So it is a very simple question, and the basics are given in the IBS 2.0. And in this I'm not going to give much, what you can say, much consideration to DT because it is already in your group 2. You are going to prepare for it very well, and you will have your faculty notes for DT as well. That is highly recommended because in IBS 62.0 we have quite summarized the DT part, because anyways you have the notes, you have that in group 2, so that was the waste of your time, I thought. So that's why we have concised it for the DT part, so you don't have to worry about that. And for DT part, I don't think you will have any problem with that. Same again, this question about the SCN of GST. It is also a simple question, and what is the legal remedy available and everything. So you can find it, and it's not difficult. Now, this question I have star marked because this is the thing that this is the question that got me to think that there is a requirement of forms and everything. So, with keeping in mind this question, this is actually about what specific certification must be obtained by NCLT under the Companies Act from statutory auditor of RECL. So, in this case, what is that specific certification? And if you look here in our master index, I have already auditor certificate accounting treatment. It is a certificate that we have compiled with all the indices, applicable indices or ASs, whatever the case may be. Probably India's is the company, and how it will be given and everything and all, it is given here only. You will find this complete list of forms in the master reference manual. What form is to be issued, what is the time limit, बहुत सारी चीजें, it is covered there already. Okay, yeah. So let's move on. There's also a very simple question. Opportunity cost of capital is 15%. Compute the price of shares today using both dividend growth model and Walters model. You have the formulas in the IBS 62.0. If not, you have your AFM module and everything. So you can find that very easily. Okay. Now, second case study question. Let's jump on to the questions first. Identify the correct matching from the matrix presented by Mr. Rajiv. So as we can see, here is the matrix. Column A is the issue, B is the corrective measure, and to match that it is correct or not. What you have to do, you have to look for the definition of this, and if it matches there, so it is a correct match. It is if it not, then it is not. In IBS 62.0, we have the definitions of them in the lean system chapter, so you can find there. As if not, then there's your SCA module as well. So I think this was not that difficult. Now, based on the given facts, the applicable guidance under relevant index, which are the following statement accurately reflect the position of XYZ holding in PQR still limited after entering to forward contract. Now, this is something that has the definition of the forward contract, and it if it comes under the index 110 and also index 109. So it was about the it was about the definition part, and I think that the question like this made this paper that difficult, made this paper very conceptual. Because when you will look this question, na, so you will think what is happening and is it correct and not, and especially if you are a group 2 student who doesn't have that much knowledge of FR and everything. So that's why I suggest the student, apart from this book, you have to mandatorily take other modules. I will tell you, but mandatorily take FR module, because question may be framed from test your knowledge or definitions, and we cannot put each and everything into that in the IBS book. So to supplement that FR module, specifically I'm telling you FR for FR module will be very helpful. And this question is about the definition. If it fits in inside the definition, then the answer will be then and there. Okay. Yeah. Which one of the following statements are correct regarding the foreign exchange transaction and risk management measures taken by XYZ and JBS? It is about the interest rate swaps, floating and fixed rates. And if you can see, it is not that difficult. And when you will solve it, it is very basic question from interest rate swaps. We have the information in the IBS 62.2. You can check the information and you can solve this. There's no difficulty. In the light of provision of the applicable laws governing XYZ, which of the following statement most appropriately address the question of Mr. Suresh eligibility for appointment as director of XYZ? Yeah. So here, as I was telling you, XYZ is a XYZ is a listed public company. So here, not only you have to check the maximum number of directorship as per the Companies Act, but first you have to check the maximum number of directorship as per the LODR guidelines, the SEBI guidelines. And in this case, he's like, as you will read, you will find that he's not eligible as per the SEBI LODR guidelines, because that have the limit of seven directorship in listed entities. So if you will read that, and it is provided in the our directors column of the IBS 2.0, you will check that. You will check there, you will find it. So it is solvable, but yeah, there is a trap. This is the trap. This is the exam traps I'm talking about, and this is what we have placed in the IBS 2.0. Okay, you have recently joined the management accounting department. Sorry, yeah. Fifth one. Which one of the following correctly shows the procedure audit in terms of the interim financial information for quarter ending 31st December 2025? This is the question about SREs. And you will find that in the SRE part. And see, audit question will be like this only. In the, if you carry the module itself, there will be just information. You have to evaluate from that. In the IBSCC 2.0, there is the information. You have to evaluate from that. So it all comes down to your practice. Again, I will go on like this for each and every question, and I can tell you here and here only. 70 to 80% of this paper is covered by IBSCC 2.0. 100% I can never claim, because in the previous examination, if we have backtested the examination of September and also the May paper, almost 80 to 90% part was covered in IBSCC 2.0 in this paper, because it is in-depth conceptual and somewhat based around the little details. So it is around 70 to 80%. And if you can check, I will also give you a proper sheet what is matching and what not. Because see, the thing is, we will continue like this, but the thing is, unless and until you have that practice, you will not be able to extract the answers from anywhere, like module or whatsoever. Because I taught to many students, and this was the problem, that they had the material, because they had all the modules. Nothing can be outside from that. Nothing can come that is not in there. So you have to take care of that. You have to take care of time and everything. And IBS 360 2.0 is there to save your time. Whenever you have, sorry, whenever you have to get a quick reference, whenever you have to get a quick note, because whenever you will practice through IBS 360 2.0, you will get to know about the exam traps that are there, the domino effects that are there, and all the concepts that are there, the forms are there, the reference manuals are there. We have added so many things, but yet we cannot claim that the whole paper will be solved by that only, because of the dynamics of the paper and the vast syllabus that we have to cover, beginning from your FR to IDT, even the STOM subjects of law and SCMP. So we cannot claim that 100% of everything will be solved. But yeah, it will be a very helpful tool for you, but you have to use it, you have to practice it. It will not be that if you're opening, just you saw it and you're just taking that to examination and you're just solving the paper by it. Treat IBS like you treat your other papers. I have seen this in this quality in students, and this is not what I can say. This is not a fault of the students. Being an open book examination, it creates a less sense of urgency. Like, if I have to choose between studying DT and IBS and practicing IBS, I will always choose DT, because of the psychology it has. The brain chooses DT because it has uncertainty, and the open book examination give a sense of certainty, gives a sense of comfort, because we will have the books and everything. And I'm not saying that you have to practice IBS only and you don't have to focus. But remember, once you are practicing for IBS, you are anyways preparing for your other subjects and vice versa. So keep that in mind. You have to practice case studies, you have to read topics, and especially if you are a group 2 student who have appeared group 1 way back, or who are not yet preparing for group 1. So start preparing for the topics in the group 1. watch some revision videos, read some material. There cannot be one thing that is solution for all. You have to strategize it properly. And as I told you about the framework, as I will share more details about it, it is about a whole complete experience. This book is just this book, and material is a part of that. But if I'm genuinely like students, I stand by students that many students have asked if this book is complete enough for clearing the IBS. How can it be? Yeah, it covers a major part of your paper. It will be very handy for you. It will save your time. It has that master effects, master traps and domino effects and everything that will not be in module and that will not be anywhere else. But again, it is up to you how you practice and how you perform in those 4 hours. Okay. So on that note, I will give you a detailed summary of the January paper once the suggested answers and everything are out. Till then, practice your case study books. Whatever case study book you have, the be it institute or any other faculty or whatsoever, it doesn't matter. All are ICAI case studies only. You have past year question papers, everything. And also do not hope that the case study will be repeated or the parts, bits and parts will be repeated. It may repeat, but it doesn't matter. When you are prepared at that level, when you have that determination, when you know that you know the structure, you know you have the strategy. So it doesn't matter if the paper is completely new or if the paper is 100% copied from all the previous year question papers and MTPs and RTPs. So it doesn't matter. So start preparing instead of start doubting and start instead of doubting and like double checking about the paper and everything, start preparing for it. And I know the paper is difficult, and I if I was appearing for it, I would have the doubts and everything. But the only option there is to go and prepare for it. Have a strategy, practice, treat it like you treat your other subjects. I have talked to students, I have seen students who say there are only two papers in group. Why? They don't consider IBS, they treat IBS as an open book examination. That's what Institute has shown in this attempt. It is not just an open book examination. It is actually your last step of becoming a CA. You have read all the topics, you have all the 7 subjects. Now integrate them, now use them, implement them in the real life based case studies. So this is what Institute wants. So on that note, bye bye, take care. And if you have any doubts, you can connect with me on Telegram. And definitely, we will give much more material to you as we deem fit and as it is required for the IELTS. Bye bye, take care. See you next time.